Oh, it started. Okay, my bad. So what's up, everyone? Today is Tuesday, January 6th. I will be trading the Nasdaq like I always do. So overall, I want to say I'm leaning bullish. I'm not 100% confident when I say I'm leaning bullish, but I'd say I'm definitely a lot more bullish than bearish. One of the things that kind of susses me out to say that I'm bullish is we still left behind, like on ES, Asia and London lows made equal lows. I feel like that just susses me out. But the thing is, I feel like if we're just going to keep trading away from those equal lows, it's not like we necessarily need to hit them. And I mean, like, currently, I feel like we're not really, like, delivering from anything too significant. Like, ES is coming out of, like, a 4-hour gap and a 1-hour gap right now. But I feel like NQ itself, I wouldn't really say is delivering from anything too significant. Yeah, like, and on ES, we never even tapped, I mean, on NQ, I'm sorry, we never even tapped into this 4-hour gap right here. But I mean, for example, let's say if, like, at market open, right, like, market open just happened, if we keep trading up, I mean, I'll look for a continuation long, to be honest. How's everyone's morning going, though? Mine's going pretty good, honestly. So honestly, I want to say, I feel like the first draw I'm looking to see get hit is honestly just previous day high. And ES is definitely getting a lot closer to previous day high than NQ is, but so in like what, 2.5 minutes, we're probably gonna open up this 5-minute gap down here. I feel like this 5-minute gap could be a really good condition where, like, if we respect it, I can continue like remaining bullish. But honestly, I feel like if we disrespect it, that's pretty much showing me that this push up at open was like a Judas move. And it's like a Judas is essentially a counter trend move where we just go and sweep out liquidity and fake out traders, go the opposite direction, right? And we did just take out this high. I wonder if there's an SMT. There is an SMT at this high up here. So essentially, like, what an SMT is, right? NQ came up, swept out this high, but ES actually wasn't strong enough to do that. So if we were to start displacing down, that would be one thing I could count toward, like, being bearish, that SMT. But the thing about SMTs is, though, like, SMTs that are going against your, like, bias will happen all the time. Like, you gotta think about, like, if we're trending up, like, either NQ or ES is going to hit the high first, and sometimes ES will just be the stronger pair. So, like, just because ES hit the high doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad trade, but Bakakenu says, yo, what's up? What's up, Bakakenu? How are you, bro? He said, just grinding. I feel that. Me too. I respect it. So we're opening up this 5-minute gap right now. This is going to be like my main condition, honestly. Like, honestly, I feel like if we come down and invert this 5-minute gap, I'm honestly probably going to flip on bearish. John Tyner says, good morning. Good morning, John. How are you? So we are pulling back into this 5-minute gap. It would be interesting to see if I can get any continuation long out of that. You said good morning, up and grind. Yeah, good morning, Samuel. So the thing is, I really don't want to take a 30-second this close to market open. This thing's probably going to play out, I bet. I'm not going to take this. That's only if we close through this 30-second, but I honestly kind of don't feel comfortable taking a 30-second like 5 minutes after market open. It kind of susses me out. That's also a weird close. I'm curious. I'm not taking this. But honestly, I feel like if there was a 1-minute gap there, I would have taken it. But just because the fact there's only a 30-second, I don't know, it kind of susses me out. You said, when I see it moves like this, it always makes me anxious to jump in. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, that would have hit TP if I took that. I think. I want to say. You know, there's a chance if I got a bad fill, it could have edged my take profit. I could see that. I would have went break even though when I took these highs up here. You said it would have? Yeah, because honestly, I feel like there's no way I would have gotten a perfect fill. I probably would have gotten a fill like up here. Probably would have just edged me. And it probably would have stopped me at break even. You said, do you always just go for 1-to-1? Not always. Sometimes if let's say there was a really clear draw nearby, or if I feel like it was just an extremely obvious setup, I might go for more than 1-to-1. I feel like it kind of depends on conditions. Like, it's like a conditional thing. Like, certain trades I'll look and I'll say, oh yeah, this one, like I really want to go for a higher RR. But so, I mean, if I were to take a long, like, well, if I were to try to take a long, at this point, I feel like I'd want to see a resweep of this low. Or at least an SNT where, like, ES kind of comes down and sweeps the low, but you said, let's hope for better PA than yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was dog water. I don't even think people say dog water anymore. I might be dating myself. Honestly, I low-key want to see this 1-minute gap open up. I might try if... Okay, that 1-minute gap's not opening up. That's cool. Kind of the same story again, where there's like a 30-second. But honestly, this 30-second I'm definitely not taking. Because I don't like... There's a 30-second gap here. And there's actually another 30-second gap that's really small up here. So I don't like taking trades when there's 2 gaps in the leg. And honestly, I wouldn't even take a long yet because we still haven't swept out this low. inside this 5-minute gap. So, I mean, it's only 10 minutes after market open, but I feel like we're still not forming fair value gaps again, kind of like yesterday. I mean, it's still only 10 minutes into open, though. We have time. Cool. So, it finally swept out the low inside that gap. I feel like this point right here is kind of critical because I feel like, honestly, in my opinion, if we were going to remain bullish, we need to start wicking up like pretty soon, honestly. Because like the thing is, honestly, the way I view the market, like if we close through this 5-minute gap, I think we're going to start running down pretty hard, honestly. So like one thing I'm looking at is I feel like there's all these stacked lows like over here. And I know on ES from yesterday, there's equal lows at London and Asia. So I feel like once we start getting displacement toward those areas, I think they're going to get hit. And like, honestly, we might be getting that right now. Like, I still have to wait 3 minutes. But after 3 minutes, if we close this gap, I'm going to flip bias to bearish, honestly. We did actually open up this 1 minute, though. I gotta think about this hard. I'm not the biggest fan of this. If we come up and close to this 1 minute, I don't think. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this. Even if we were to come up. Actually, since we have so much volume though, it's closing so strong though. Honestly, I think I'm gonna try this. I'm not. Where's the break-even point? I'm gonna pass up on that. Actually, I lied. I'm not taking that. The reason I passed up on that. Whatever, I'll look at that later. So the reason I passed up on that is because I wanted to make this my break-even point. I just feel like ES is really close to my break-even point, which would have been like right there, right? I don't know why. And I also don't like how choppy we are up here, if that makes sense. I mean, this thing definitely could play out, but honestly, now that I'm seeing how we're moving right now, it's probably going to play out. Honestly, I kind of low-key regret passing up on that now that I'm seeing this. It's whatever. I was thinking that ES was going to come up and hit my break-even point really quick, and I also was sussed out by like all the choppiness up here. But I would have been break-even there if I took that. Ooh. It's always the trades I pass up on that go crazy. I should have fucking taken that. It's whatever. Although I was saying before, though, like, I was saying, like, I feel like that was the last area. Like, if we're going to remain bullish, I feel like that's the last area we'd pretty much have to react from. I'm not going to lie. I'm low-key a little mad at myself. I didn't take that. But it's whatever. Damn, this thing's running. So, I mean, at this point, the main thing I'm looking for is I want to see us keep going up, and I just want to take a continuation long. Like, I want to see like a 5 or a 15-minute fair value gap get created. I want to see us pull back into that and then get an inversion out of there. Like, the thing I'm thinking about, though, like with this trade, I wonder how upset am I at myself for not taking this? I mean, I feel like this is just choppy. Right before this setup happened, it was so choppy. Like, I feel like there's no way I could have known that we would have cleaned up price action like this. You said, yeah, it does that. Don't beat yourself up. It was very choppy this morning. Yeah, it really was choppy beforehand. And I always think too, like, honestly, I feel like if this trade were to have lost, I feel like I would have been really mad at myself. Because, like, let's say if we kept chopping, I would have been like, why'd I take that? If that makes sense. I feel like I'd be like, I should have known better. You said, is that a good thing that PA is choppy when coming down for a retrace? Not really, honestly. Because I feel like in choppy conditions, like, honestly, my strategy kind of relies on, like, volatility and volume. You said, yeah, it was way too choppy at market open. Don't sweat it. It happens to all of us. Yeah, that's true. I appreciate you guys. You said, don't let the FOMO get to you. You're right. So right now, though, I mean, I feel like if we're going to continue bullish like this, I'm definitely a lot more confident in longs. So, I feel like the main thing I'm looking for right now is if we open up a 5 or a 15-minute fair value gap, like if we open up some 5-minute gap here, if we pull back into it and get a clear rejection out of it, that would be a nice setup to take, honestly. Because, like, right now, it's very obvious we're trending. Like, we're no longer chopping. And honestly, I feel like, to be completely honest, I feel like part of the reason that kind of got to me for a second was, like, if I win my next trade, I get a 3K payout. And I low-key, like, kind of, like, feel like I kind of need that money, if that makes sense. But, I mean, I won't let it get to me, but I'm like one trade away from a payout. I like how big this 5-minute candle is, though. I feel like there's a good chance we're going to open up a gap. But, and there's no news today at 10 a.m. It's a no news Tuesday. It's an Italian bank holiday? I didn't even know that. Since when? You said I'm 4 days away from my first one, but I'm at 434. Not bad. You said, honestly, how's it going, mate? Pretty good. How about you? And honestly, even if we don't open up like this 5-minute gap here, I could see us opening up like this 15-minute gap, like down here, and maybe trading back into this 15-minute, rejecting out of it. You said, what's the bias targeting the Friday high? Honestly, right now, I'd say I'm bullish toward previous day high, which is like about to get hit on ES, like right now, honestly. I think on even if ES hits it, though, I think I'm still bullish toward previous day high and NQ as well, honestly. Depending on how we react off of it, but... So we have 5 minutes until this gap could potentially open up. You said NQ previous day high. Oh, you know, how am I? I'm blind. Thank you for that. Yeah, that is Friday's high. Yeah, so ES just took out previous day high. So at this point, I'd say it's ridiculously obvious we're trending bullish, right? So like essentially, I'm just looking for a continuation long where I want to see a pullback into a 5 or a 15-minute fair value gap, and then I look for a rejection out of there, essentially. So the doji must have took it. So we have like, what, almost 2.5 minutes until this 5-minute gap opens up. The second it opens up, I'm looking for a retracement into there. You said, morning, Tim. No trades for me today. Just watching you work. Good morning, Prin. Nothing wrong with taking no trades. I haven't taken any trades today either. Honestly, I passed up on a setup that worked really well. But... Oh, dodgy? Oh, yeah. Dude, I feel like dodgy takes every setup that presents itself. Yeah, honestly, the trade I passed up on, I don't know if you were here before. We like traded into this 5-minute gap over here. And then we had this like 1-minute inverse coming out of it. But I was low-key kind of sussed out because I feel like beforehand we were moving so choppy. And I feel like ES was really close to the point I wanted to go break even at. So I kind of didn't feel comfortable taking it. And of course it did that, but it's whatever though. So we have 1.5 minutes till this 5-minute gap opens up. You said, damn, that would have been a nice one, but better protect your capital and lose it. Yeah, honestly, I feel like for a second, I did kind of get upset about it. But if I lost that setup, though, I feel like there's no way I could have known in that moment that setup was going to play out that well. Because I feel like beforehand, like, the conditions were so choppy. And, like, if I lost a trade like that, I would have said that's a shit trade, honestly. Like, honestly, like, if I lost, though, and I reviewed it, I literally would have said that's a shit trade. Vizid said, what's up, Tim? What's up, Vizid? How are you, bro? You said I joined your Discord? Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, I know. If you're wondering why when you first joined it looked like nothing was there, there's like a way to verify yourself. I just verified you I just did it for you, but... I only have the verification thing there, mostly for like bots. And I feel like half of them get through anyway, but... He said, thanks, bro. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I saw you joined, and I was like, bro, I gotta verify him. He said, what's your Discord, bro? On my YouTube, it should be linked in the pinned comment. I mean, I can send it again. It should be in that pinned comment. Yeah, I just sent it again. Lem says, hey, what's up, Lem? He said, what's with the bots? They're annoying. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I feel like bots just target trading discords because I feel like they know there's people in there that might potentially pay them money. If you know what I mean? They're like, oh, buy my course or whatever. But you said I'm on this other Discord and I see them bots intimidating other people. Yeah, they pretty much typically, those bots, it's usually some guy from like a poor country. Like I'm not trying to be like mean or anything here, but like let's say you're from like India or like some ridiculously poor country and you want to find some easy way to make money. You'll just try to impersonate traders online. And then you'll message people from their Discord and be like, hey, I'm just reaching out to traders. Like, I want to get to know my traders. And then eventually one of those people is going to be stupid enough to pay that person. And then all they need is one person to pay them. And like in their country, that's like so much money. It's like worth their time to sit there for weeks and like go back and forth with these people, if that makes sense. And I have something in my Discord that's supposed to prevent bots from coming in. But like it only works so well. Like, it blocks some people, and then some people just get through anyway. Yeah, I don't know. But you said, Lem said, I said I'll be here yesterday. I appreciate you come by, Lem. You said, what's Discord? Discord, it's like some app where, like, it's kind of hard to explain. I guess it's almost like a chat room, except, like, you can make multiple chat rooms, and you can join, like, different ones. I feel like traders use it a lot. But like I have a Discord, it's basically just some like community chat room where like I have a channel where like everyone can talk, and like I have another one where I post my stream schedule, and I sometimes tag people for like announcements. Oh my god, we are ripping. So, I mean, I'm still waiting for some form of pullback into a 5 or a 15-minute fair value gap. You said all the trading videos that I've ever seen have a gazillion bots in the comments. So annoying. Yeah, there's like a bunch, honestly. I don't know why. I feel like trading just has all the bots. You said, yep, don't be gullible. Always use your best judgment. Yeah, and I feel like some of the scammers that be messaging people send me screenshots and be like, is this you? And I'm like, bro, this person can't even use proper English. Like, but you said I only see 2 rooms in the chat. So when you join, in the one that says welcome verify, like it says you gotta react with like a check mark to that message, and once you react with a check mark, you're pretty much like proving you're not a bot, if that makes sense. And then it gives you access to all the other rooms. You said went long targeting the Friday high. Good stuff. That's a great trade, honestly. We've been ripping toward there. Did we hit? Yeah, we haven't even hit the Friday high yet, but I feel like it's a pretty prominent high we're trending toward. You said soon there will be both a 5-minute and a 15-minute. Which one do you go for if there's a retrace? So I feel like I kind of use discretion when it comes down to that. Like for example, like there is going to be an unfilled 15-minute gap, but it's going to be so far away. I don't think it really makes sense for us to trade back to that, if that makes sense. And we're also going to create multiple 5 minutes up here. So I feel like, honestly, if we trade back into this most recent 5-minute, I feel like I'd have to see a very strong reaction out. But I feel like I'd be a little less picky with the setup, if that makes sense, if it comes down to this other bigger 5-minute gap down here. You said, I will join tomorrow. Appreciate that, Batkenu. You said, I don't know, NQ really intimidates me because the volatility is crazy. I feel like you get used to it in time, though. You said, hey, Tim, I'm on audio RN. Let me know if there's anything exciting. I gotta cook. Thanks, bro. I got you, Vized. You said, took any trade? Nah, I have not taken any trade so far yet today. There was one setup I really debated on taking, but I passed up on it. It would have won, but I honestly don't think it was. Even though it won, I still don't think it was the cleanest setup, even looking back, honestly. You said, I'm hoping not for the retrace, to be honest. I mean, yeah. I mean, the way it's moving, I honestly could see us not having a retrace. I mean, I'm just hoping for a small retrace, maybe. get a clear reaction out, but oh my, we're trending up so hard. You said gotta go to my 9 to 5 to fund my evals. Well, I appreciate you stopping by, Samuel. Have a good day. You said the next 15 might go for, I guess, what you're talking about, this high up here. You said, man, I need that retrace. I'm in the same boat as you. I'm sitting here patiently waiting for a retrace. Because right now, honestly, I think this draw of this Friday high is extremely obvious. I think it's very obvious. You said you too, Tim. I'll join your Discord. Appreciate that, bro. So one of the nice things is, though, so we did just open up, like, it's 10 a.m. open that just passed, right? So I always pay attention to 10 a.m. open, because I feel like a lot of times, like, since we're opening up a new 4-hour candle, we're opening up a new 1-hour candle, sometimes they like to form wicks in the opposite direction. So I'm hoping now that it's 10 a.m., we're in the macro, we can have some pullback. But you said, do you stick with a fixed risk reward or do you run with a trailing stop loss? So, I mean, I never use a trailing stop loss, but I would not say I use a fixed risk reward. I'd say it's more discretion, where, like, if I can't find a good target, I'll go for 1-to-1. But let's say if I'm, like, looking and there's, like, a very obvious draw that's, like, at a 1 to 1.5 or something like that, I'll target that. But I usually, like, I don't trail my stop at all. I either just, the only trailing of my stop I do is I move my stop to break even when we take, like, an internal high or low, but I don't necessarily trail in profit, though. So I'm hoping that NQ can pull back. We still need, like, 30 points to pull back to hit this 5-minute gap. When ES is still running. You said, does Trump talk? Not to my knowledge. I mean, I could be wrong. Oh, wait, no, my bad. So Trump talks at 2 p.m. But I wouldn't say that really affects me, because I trade, like, New York AM session, so I'm going to be done long before he starts talking. Because Trump's not going to talk for another 4 hours. So we're getting a little bit of a pullback. We still haven't tapped any gap yet, but we're at least pulling back a little bit. So I need like 20 more points for a pullback now. Honestly, I feel like my voice is cracked, but highest probability, I feel like if we could actually wait until we open up this 15-minute gap, and then if we pull into this new 15-minute gap we formed, I would love taking a long out of that, to be honest, but I'm still waiting for a pullback. There's 9 minutes until this 15-minute gap's gonna open. That's low-key pretty annoying that we never tapped into this 5-minute, but just gotta be patient. So in like 7 minutes, this would be the unfilled 15-minute gap. How, I wonder, we're getting pretty close to Friday's high. What's like, what, 40 points away? It's closer than I'd like. Honestly, I feel like things are about to be boring for the next like 6 minutes. And honestly, at this point, I feel like we might not get a pullback until we open up this 15-minute gap. Which honestly, it's preferable for me. I'd rather take a trade out of a 15-minute than a 5-minute if you give me the choice. But or maybe we're gonna start pulling back now when I jinxed it. I mean, I like how it was like the second I said things are getting boring, we just get this death candle. I love it. So we still haven't tapped the 5-minute yet. You said just say the opposite of what you want to happen. You know, I actually used to have like this weird theory. I don't think there's anything to it, but sometimes I used to be like, yo, stop me out, like talking to my computer monitor. You said, have you took a trade? And now I haven't taken any trades so far today. I'm currently waiting for a pullback, and I want to take a continuation long right now. I did pass up on one trade I really considered before, but I just didn't think it was too clean. It honestly would have worked out, but it really, in hindsight, it really wasn't the cleanest. You said pull back into the 5-minute gap? I mean, yeah, it could pull back into like either 5-minute gap, or I feel like best case scenario is if we wait like 5 minutes and open up this unfilled 15-minute gap and get a reaction out of that one. Because like I always say, like higher time frame holds the higher power. So like rejecting out of a 15-minute gap is more significant than like delivering out of a 5, but I mean, there's like 3.5 minutes till we're gonna open up this unfill 15. The only thing is, I hate we're about to tap into this unfill 5-minute gap down here. I honestly, I wouldn't be the biggest fan of a trade if, let's say, we start reacting up and we immediately open up an unfill 15-minute gap in my stop. But we'll see. So we still have not hit that 5-minute gap. So I'm surprised we haven't hit this unfill 5-minute gap yet, honestly. So we have 2 minutes until we open up the unfill 15-minute gap. It's gonna coincide with an unfill 5-minute gap. So honestly, I'd be pretty happy if we can get a pullback after this gap opens up. I'd be pretty happy taking a long out of there, honestly. Ugh. So honestly, I'm gonna get rid of these 5-minute gaps because honestly, at this point, I'm just gonna start paying attention to the unfill 15 because the unfill 15 is gonna open up like in 45 seconds. So like from now on, I'm essentially waiting for us to pull back, tap into this 15-minute gap, and I'm waiting for any reaction out of there, like lower time frame. Well, not any reaction, but like the highest time frame gap in that leg. You said all these near perfect setups, but doesn't quite follow my trading plan. It's frustrating. Yeah, honestly, today's been a little frustrating for me too, to be honest, but just part of the game. You said how many contracts do you trade? So there's not like a fixed amount of contracts I trade. Like I use a position size calculator, so I tell it like what my stop loss size is going to be, like what size account I'm on, what percent I want to risk, and then it'll say, okay, like 1% of a 50K account is 500. To risk 500, you have to take like 8 micros, for example. You know, I'm not gonna lie, this low key makes me feel a little better. There's some other guy that posts videos. Like I don't know if you guys know Trading Lewis. You like YT his Instagram username is. But he actually just posted a video saying that trade that I passed up on that 1 minute, he was saying this trade is a bad trade to take. That's honestly the same thing I was saying when I passed up on it. Makes me feel a little better, honestly. So hopefully we can pull back into this 15-minute. We're slowly kind of coming toward it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I really want to pull back. Because honestly, if we can pull back into this 15 and I can like target toward Friday's high, I feel like that's a very clear trade, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even see this in real time. There's equal lows down there. Those are equal lows. I can't take a trade with equal lows at my stop loss. That's another reason I couldn't have taken that trade. So like if we think about like accumulation, manipulation, distribution, right? Like I feel like we're kind of accumulating right here. I'd love to see us like manipulate down into this 15-minute gap and then distribute up higher, but apparently Nasdaq just wants to keep running straight up all day. Oh, you said why do you prefer it coming back to the 15-minute versus the 5-minute? So essentially, like I always say, like the higher time frame holds the higher power. So like if I'm looking at like a 1 hour gap, it's gonna have more power in like a 15-minute gap, and a 15 has more power in the 5-minute gap. So I guess yeah, I feel like it's just a stronger area that we're rejecting from, I guess. I know in this case though, I feel like the 15 minutes also the closest gap because we will have to pull a little bit further down to actually tap the 5-minute, but I feel like the song it's playing right now is I feel like one of my favorite songs I have for my stream music, honestly. I'm kind of into techno music though, I'm not gonna lie. I can only play so many things though, because like YouTube copyright stuff is annoying. Oh, are we not gonna pull back to that 15-minute gap? You said we might shop the entire 10 a.m. candle, not sure though. I'm not gonna lie, the last time you said that, it actually happened. Honestly, today though, I think it's lower chances it'll happen today, in my opinion. You're the hourly. I mean, it's the same thing as yesterday. Like, I guess your logic was the 9 a.m. candle expanded too far. Kind of the same thing happened again today. Oh, thank God. This makes me feel so much better. So what? We're like almost 10 points away from hitting this unfilled gap. You said Trump is speaking RN apparently. It was unexpected. Are we dead ass? Where are you guys seeing that he's speaking RN? You said it's at 2. That's what I thought. So hopefully we can maybe like come sweep out this high and then come down to this 15-minute gap. Because it's not even like ES hit the unfilled gap. So it's not like if we were to start coming up, we're not like delivering from anything significant. You said, how do you go about getting a funded and where's the best place to get one? So I mean, essentially, like each place has different rules to actually get the get approved for the funded account. But essentially, you just pay them money. They give you access to an evaluation account. You make their profit target, then you get funded. But the number one prop firm I recommend is Alpha Futures. So like I think it probably says up top, get funded with Alpha Futures. Use discount code TIMB272, and my discount code gets you 10% off all evaluations. So I always recommend people to try out the zero plan. It's got no activation fee. And it's like $99 before any discount. You said he's speaking at the House GOP retreat. I mean, yeah, honestly, the number one thing I pay attention to is Forex Factory. And Forex Factory still says he's not speaking until 2. He said NQ needs to fill me already. Me too. Oh, yo, I can't believe we didn't hit the unfilled gap. We didn't hit any unfilled gaps. This is brutal. Honestly, though, I feel like if we keep chopping until 11 a.m., I do have hope for 11 a.m. Because I feel like sometimes, like 11 a.m. gives us a good move, if 10 a.m. doesn't. He said, I need to use the bathroom and NQ's playing with me. I've had that happen to me before, too, honestly. You said, would you ever scalp? I mean, I'd say to a point, I kind of do scalp currently. I mean, I wouldn't like hold trades for any shorter of a period of time than I already do. But I mean, my average holding time right now is like 15 minutes. I wonder what's the exact definition of scalping. Oh, well, I guess scalping is numerous quick trades in seconds to minutes. Honestly, I wouldn't take numerous trades though. I like limiting myself to like however many trades a day. You said it's gonna next candle wick up, just means it's gonna come back. I mean, it's possible. Hopefully, we can maybe sweep out these highs and come back. Maybe. I got excited for a second though. I was like, oh, we're finally gonna hit this unfilled 15-minute gap. I celebrated too quickly. So I mean, right now we're kind of failing to break above this high. So hopefully we kind of fail to break above it and kind of pull back. He said, Tim, what do you do in your free time besides gym? Honestly, I mean, I don't do too much. I feel like I work on my content. Like I'll make like longer form YouTube videos, or I feel like I'll do stuff inside the Discord, or like it honestly takes me a lot of time to post all my short form clips too. Like if you see me post like all the short form videos, it takes me a hot minute to schedule all those. Honestly, I feel like I don't do too much besides trading content though. I go to the gym. I mean, I eat food. I spend time with my friends sometimes. Not too frequently though, but essentially, I'm a workaholic. I guess I also go for long distance runs, but I guess you can count that as gym. You said you play any games? I used to. I stopped playing video games. I used to play I don't know if you've heard of Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Like a long, long time ago. I used to be really good at that game. I actually used to be in like the top 1% of like North America in Counter-Strike. But I haven't played that game in so long. I used to play a bit of Apex Legends too. You know, honestly though, I feel like one thing about video games, like I feel like obviously, yeah, you shouldn't sit around and play video games all day. Like you can do it for fun a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like the mindset that video games gave me kind of carried over into trading where like you know like in a video game you're constantly like leveling up your character. I feel like I used to be so good at like playing these video games, leveling up the character, finding out like ways to exploit the system. And then I thought about it and I was like, I'm sitting here playing these video games, I'm leveling up a character like inside a virtual world. Like how about I put all this effort back into myself and I focus on like leveling up myself in real life. Like I treat life like a video game and then I'm trying to like level myself up essentially, right? Because like in GTA, right? Like your goal is to get more money, get the nicer cars. Like if I can do that in GTA, why can't I carry the same mindset over to real life and kind of have that same philosophy? He said I hit D1 in Apex, then quit. It's pretty crazy. You said insane how there's no good retracements. It honestly kind of is insane how there's no good retracements. Like we haven't honestly had a good single retracement since market open, in my opinion. It's an insane. Oh no, he said I drink a lot of caffeine in the morning, so that's my adrenaline cortisol levels already high. If anything, in my opinion, I mean, no, I know everyone's different, but in my opinion, I think you might be a little less stressed if you didn't have as much caffeine in your system. Because me personally, I feel like caffeine kind of makes me anxious. That's just me personally, but you said we will consolidate the entire 10 a.m. candle. You know, I don't want you to be right, but like I think you're probably gonna be right. Because like this is we're getting really choppy right here again, just like yesterday. 11 a.m. like starting at 10:50 though. I think things might start cleaning up at 10:50. But you said, bro, you play Apex. I still do. You sound like someone that plays Apex. I'm not even sure what that means, but I mean, I don't play Apex really anymore. I probably haven't played Apex in like 6 months. But like, for example, if one of my friends hit me up and they're like, "Do you want to play Apex?" I might say yeah if I had the free time. You said never got heirloom, so I quit. Yeah, dude, those heirlooms, they're like impossible to get, I feel like. You said hoping for macro to play us out. Me too, honestly. Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting. You said this 15. Yeah, I'm waiting. My main thing, I really want to see a pullback to this unfilled 15 and then a rejection out of it. Like I really want to see that. But you said hello, how much do you earn a month? I mean, I'd say it varies. I'd say like trading never gives like consistent income, but I'd say like I wouldn't say it's a fixed amount every month. Like for example, last December, I technically got paid $0 for my trading, but I'd say I make around my payouts are typically like $2,000, and I get them every 2 weeks to like 2 months. But I recently did shift up my account size, so I moved from trading 3 accounts at once to 5 accounts. So in theory, my payout should start getting a little bigger now. He said, bro, I got heirloom shards for free one day. He said, really want to see price go to 800 on macro? I guess you probably mean like, oh, like you probably mean, oh, essentially Friday's high. That I don't know why it took me so long to figure out. You said at least I was right about this 15 bringing us back down. I mean, yeah, it's always good to have the right idea. You said at this point the market makers can keep their money. I don't even want it. That's pretty funny, honestly. And honestly, the thing I'm not going to be happy about, I think ES is going to hit this unfilled gap. And honestly, for me to take a trade, NQ's got to hit the unfilled gap too. It's like if ES hits it and we react up, I'm not going to be a happy camper. Oh, but in case you guys didn't hear before, I'm actually gonna be dropping a video on my YouTube today at like noon Eastern Standard Time. It like explains my strategy in depth. So I know some of you guys have been asking for that. So definitely check that out if you're interested. Bro, Tim, when I pass this eval, let's hop on Apex together as a celebration. Why not? You said I low key just trade gym and play Rust. I just got a Wolf Dog hybrid as a gift to myself on New Year's. That thing's probably gonna be a lot of work, honestly. But I hope the dog brings you joy and everything. Have you named the dog yet? You said I know I need something to do with so much hair everywhere. I'm sure there is. So honestly, we're kind of starting to get a pullback. I don't want to jinx it like last time, but I like how I just said that and jinxed it anyway. Like I don't know. You said her name's Nova. Nice name. Said she's 3 months old. That's nice. I'm like scared to speak at what I'm seeing right now because last time I started speaking, it jinxed me. Come on, can you pull down? He said people on social media said spending time on evals is a waste of time, but I won't full port evals until I pass combines fair. Honestly, no, I do agree with that. Like even like I full port evals, but I always tell people like just because I do it doesn't mean you should necessarily do it too. Like part of the reason I full port evals is because I like I'm reinvesting payouts and like I know like I'm really confident in my strategy over time. So like I'm willing to take the risk to like get to a funded account quicker. But like the thing is though, if you're not like 100% confident in your trading, you're just gonna sit there and blow money quicker on evals if you're full porting. Dude, there's actually no way we're not about to tap this unfilled gap. He said exactly. People just be listening to advice on the internet, then people wonder why they lose so much money. That's facts. He said it should enter the FVG, but I wouldn't enter till the candle closes. Yeah, I mean, dude, it really might not pull back into this 15-minute gap. So what's the true meaning of full porting? I mean, it's basically just like going full risk where you're either blowing the account or making a bunch of money in one day. It's essentially just gambling. He said jinxed once again. Yeah. I mean, I make jokes sometimes saying I jinx it, but I mean, it's not like me saying anything. Is like it's not like the market makers are watching my stream and doing things, but like sometimes it does feel like it. Come on, pull down Nasdaq. Down, buddy. You said what when do I full port evals? So like I was saying before, I'm not recommending you guys to full port evals. Like maybe get some payouts, then reinvest your payouts into full porting evals, and like only full port once you have a consistent strategy. But if you were to full port an eval, the way I do it is I'd like to find an account that I can pass in one day. And then I'll wait for a news event like CPI or PPI or NFP, and I'll pretty much put a buy stop and a sell stop like 30 points in each direction. So essentially, once that news release comes out, usually the candle just flies in one direction. So it hits my stop, it triggers me in, and it keeps flying in my direction, and I kind of pass in like 30 seconds sometimes. But I mean, at the same time, though, don't get me wrong, it's not like a foolproof strategy. Like, I definitely could get wicked out. I have been wicked out before, where like imagine it kind of wicks the wrong way and then it goes the other way. But price action kind of shit right now, honestly. You said actually the market makers are watching your stream on one of them. Said trading with your stop loss being your prop firm taking out themselves. Pro said I can't wait to pass this eval and withdraw all the 50K. You said ES is a bit cleaner than the yeah, NQ is lagging behind. Dude, there's no way it's about to not hit this unfilled 15-minute gap. Dude, NQ came exactly 2 points away from hitting its unfilled gap. There you go. But hit the unfilled gap. I've been waiting for this for so long. The only thing is, though, even once we do tap into it, I feel like this is just chop right here, low key. Like, there's literally not a single fair value gap that I can take an inverse off of here. You said incredible patience, by the way, loving it. I appreciate that, Uber file. Yeah, I feel like today, for example, I feel like price action isn't the cleanest, but I didn't know, like, I have a model that works over time. So, like, I just kind of follow it. But days like today can be kind of annoying. And the thing is, though, like, so even if, let's say we did start getting a rejection, I personally don't like taking trades where there's like an unfilled 15-minute gap near my stop loss. So, like, let's say if I was able to find some long opportunity, like, I really wouldn't like my stop loss placement. Like, only if we didn't tap into the unfilled gap. You said, I'm so glad I've reached the trading stage where I can actually not trade today as a beginner. Yeah, I either trade or I tilt. Yeah. Because honestly, though, like, I talk about this all the time. Finally. Oh my God. But, so, but so the human brain, um, I feel like the human brain always, um, puts together progress with like green numbers, um, like positive P and L and all, right? So I feel like it's hard for your brain to accept that like we're trying to be successful over a longer period of time, right? Like we're trying to be profitable over a period of like a week, a month. Like we're not trying to be profitable over every single day. But so honestly though, so we've tapped into this gap. This is literally like what I've been waiting for all morning. So I'm pretty much waiting for a rejection out of the gap. I would prefer if we can open up like a 1 minute gap so I don't have to take like a 30 second. But honestly, if I get a clean entry in this 30 second, I think I'm going to try it. I would definitely prefer a 1 minute though. And essentially, so the way I'm picking which gap I'm taking an inverse off of is like I'm essentially looking at the highest time frame gap in this current price leg. So like at this current moment in time, it's the 30 second. But we're probably going to open this 1 minute, which is honestly more ideal for me. You said, but don't be surprised if we invert the 15 minute because AMD says short. You said there's no way we will invert the 15. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just gonna play it day by day. Like honestly, like if we start getting a clear reaction out of this 15, like I'll look for longs. But the thing is, though, I guess like if we just keep dumping, dumping, dumping with no reaction, I won't be stuck forever on longs. But at least at this moment in time, right now, I'd say I'm leaning toward longs. Honestly, oh, we're not gonna open up this 2 minute. I wanted us to open up this 2 minute. So honestly, if we close through this 1 minute in the next 15 seconds, which I don't think we're gonna do, but if we do close through this 1 minute in the next 15 seconds, I'm gonna try this long. You said the weekly high is a good draw on bullish. Yeah, you said the market kind of all right. Friday high. Look at the Yeah, honestly, I think the Friday high is the clear draw right now, in my opinion. But I always like to be like, I call myself reactionary, where yeah, I say this Friday high looks like the draw, but at the same time, like if we start getting extremely bearish order flow, like at some point I will change my mind. But and low key, I actually would prefer if we could open up this 2 minute, because I feel like the 2 minute offers a better break even point. Like on that trade before, on this 1 minute, I would have wanted to go break even up here. But honestly, if we can open up the 2 minute, I feel like the 2 minute involves a bigger price leg. If you know what I'm saying? Like honestly, I could go break even either like this high up here, or I could even be ballsy and just hold, not even go break even till up here. But you said I think price is aiming for the 5 minute gap. I mean, yeah, it's already inside one 5 minute gap right now, but the other 5 minute gap below is like a more significant one, if you know what I mean. But in the way I view the market, we already we open up that 2 minute, bless up, bless up. Honestly, so I think if we get a clear inverse of this 2 minute gap, I am 110% ripping along. Like, if we close this 2 minute gap next candle, you said, hey, do you know where to put stop loss? So, me personally, like on a setup like this, I put my stop loss at the swing low. So, like, I'm going to put my stop loss down at what is it, like 25,710? Because I like to give myself the full breathing room. But so we have 1 minute until this candle is going to close. So, if we shoot up the next minute, I am 110% ripping this long. But for me to take this long, like we would have to close above like this 2 minute gap up here. But there's no 3 minute, there's no 4 minute, there's no 5 minute. Like he said, bro, if we get an inverse, I'm taking a long. Yeah, honestly, me too. And honestly, even if it's not this candle, like I would prefer if this current candle forming can give me the inverse. But honestly, even if it's the next 2 minute candle that closes and gives me my entry, like I'll still rip it. So we have 20 seconds. It's looking like we're probably not going to get an inverse right now. But so I just got to wait 2 minutes because this next 2 minute candle is opening up. Yeah, so I mean, honestly, even if this 2 minute candle closes like somewhere crazy up here, I'm still going to take it. And one thing I do when I kind of sit here and wait for my entry is I just like I know I checked before, but I kind of sit here and I double check. Like, am I 100% sure? Right? There's no 3 minute gap in this leg. There's no 4 minute. Sometimes when I don't trust myself, I actually turn this indicator on that draws out fair value gaps for me, which I know I really shouldn't have to use, but like, bro, I'm blind. There's a 5 minute gap. So that right there is exactly why I cycle through time frames, because there's actually this tiny, tiny, tiny 5 minute gap, which is actually the highest time frame. I guess when you said price is, I guess when you said I think price is aiming for the 5 minute gap, I guess I thought you meant like the one down here. So I'm waiting for a 5 minute inverse. Actually, I lied. How big is this gap? It's what? From 32 to 31.50. It's a 2-tick gap. Hmm. I guess we're just dumping. Well, I guess we hit, what is this? This is the 5-minute gap I think I drew out. So we did just tap into this 5-minute gap, like just barely. I guess, do we make equal lows? No, we barely tapped into it by like a tick. So it's possible maybe we could start reacting off this 5-minute gap we've now tapped into. We are inside the macro now, because I was talking about like a 10.50. I think things could start getting more clean. But we're just kind of dumping. So like, I guess right now I'm pretty much waiting to see if we get a reaction at any point. You said we took London highs. We had taken London highs a long time ago. Unless you mean ES, maybe. I mean, we've been taking London highs. I mean, maybe. Like, maybe I guess we want to come down to this 15-minute down here, maybe, and react off that. But honestly, I don't like the way we're moving right now. I feel like it's looking low-key bearish. I wonder, did ES take Friday's high? I mean, ES, I think, already took Friday's high. Yeah, ES has been taking Friday's high. You said look at the 15-minute candle next to Friday's high. Oh, those are like relative equal highs. I guess you're saying how we edged that? Honestly, I like the way you're thinking. At this point, I feel like we're probably going to hit this unfilled 15-minute gap down here, honestly. I want to see how we react once we actually trade into there, but you said, do you think you're going to take a trade today? I don't know, honestly. I mean, it depends how the market plays out for the next like 15 minutes. Like, honestly, if I can't find anything clean by 11:10, I'm just going to give up for the day. But I mean, it depends if I can find anything clean in the next like 15 minutes. Like, honestly, if price starts reacting up very cleanly, like I might go for a long or something, but You said we might get a good long. I'm hoping we do, honestly. And like if we mark out this range as a whole, like from this low to this high, we are tapping into equilibrium of this range right now. So this is an area I could see a reaction off of. I just got to see like more confirmation first, but so we're probably going to open up this 5 minute gap right here. I feel like that's something I'm definitely going to start paying attention to. He said I took a long on gold and it whooped my ass. Sorry to hear that, Bakakenu. He said ideal circulation is if we tap into that lower 15-minute bounce. Yeah, I think it would be ideal if we could tap into the situation. Yeah, I figured out what you meant. But I feel like it would be ideal if we could tap into that 15-minute, but at the same time, I do think there's a chance. Like we just hit equilibrium of this leg, which means like 50%. So like it's possible we could start reacting off 50% of his price leg. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'm going to be more reactionary. Like, if we start reacting up, I'll take a long. But if we don't get any reaction from here, I won't take a long, but... You said, is there a 30-second FVG? Well, the thing is, I was looking at that before. So, like, separating us from this unfilled 5-minute gap up here, there is, like, this 30-second. But I don't like, it's just so close to the unfilled gap. I feel like it's not anything valid I can really take a trade off of. If anything, I'd either like one, if we get a very good candle close, or let's say we close like right above that 5-minute gap maybe, I'd maybe take a long like that and go break even at that high up there. But unless maybe I can get some 1 minute over here, because I would definitely take a 1 minute like somewhere down here. Because I could go break even at the unfilled gap, which would be really nice, but... Ugh. Yeah, so it's what? It's 11 a.m. right now. So we are inside the 11 a.m. macro. So I would prefer if we can open up this 1 minute so I can take an inverse off of it. You said you show us how to full port CPI. I can show you guys later. You said there's a 5 minute. Yeah, I mean, there's. Are you talking like this 5 minute gap up here? I mean, yeah, I do know there's that 5 minute. I'm gonna go break even once we tap into that 5 minute. Yo, what's up, Anthony? How are you, bro? Visor said I knew we might inverse the 15-minute. You were right. Well, we haven't inversed it yet, but I could see it happening. He said, you in a trade? I'm not in a trade right now. No, I'm considering taking, if we close through this 1 minute, as long as there's not a 2 minute, I might take this long, honestly. Because essentially, there's like this unfilled 5 minute gap right here. I want to get a long and go break even at the unfilled 5 minute. I don't even know if I'm going to get that. So hopefully we can open this 2 minute here, honestly. I'd prefer this 2 minute to get opened up for me to take an inverse off of. You said it's been 2 months since I started my funded account challenge. I need to. Are you getting rebuild for that? Honestly, if you're getting rebuild, I'm not gonna lie, I would recommend full porting it. I don't think it makes sense to keep getting rebuild on the same funded account. So I feel like you could use that money. You could just full port the account and then use that money to buy a fresh account. You said, yeah, the rebuild part's true, except if you're in profit on the account, might as well rebuild it. Honestly, like I get where you're coming from, but me personally, even if I'm in profit in the account, I figure like I'll just full port it and try to pass real quick. That's just me. You said, yeah, could you make a YouTube short on how to use the sizing calculator? I mean, I definitely could. Once it hits 11:10 and I decide I'm like 100% not taking a trade today, I can just show you guys then. So we have, excuse me. So we have tapped into this unfilled 15-minute gap now. So it's possible we could start rejecting out of that. But it's also possible we could just keep trending down, but we'll see. Because we're probably going to open up this 3-minute gap now. So we're going to open up this 3-minute gap in like 30 seconds. So honestly, I feel like if we don't close through this 3-minute gap like almost immediately, I'm probably not going to take a trade today, to be honest. Yeah, so I pretty much, for me to take a trade, I want to see this candle shoot up. I want to see it close through this 3-minute, but I also don't want to see it tap into this unfilled 5-minute gap. Because this unfilled 5-minute gap right here is going to be my break-even point. Yeah, honestly, I'm not going to lie. I don't think I'm getting a trade today. Yeah, we're just dumping. You said if we invert the 15-minute, I'll wait for a retrace into the bearish FVG and take a short. I can see that. I mean, the only thing is, though, I feel like me personally, I feel like I'd want to see both of these 15 minutes get inverse, though, for me to take a short, but I'm not going to lie. I'm probably just going to call it here and not take any trades. I mean, I'll do my full breakdown, like from market open, everything that happened. But I just really can't see, like, I always stop at 11:10 because I feel like once you get closer to 11:10, like we get closer to lunch hour, things start getting a little choppier. Like, I don't really like trading those conditions. And I feel like price action is not the cleanest right now. I feel like I'm always saying that, but like we just consolidated up here and then we just slowly have been dropping. You said it's funny because both might get inversed. Yeah, honestly, both might get inversed the way we're moving right now. Yeah. But honestly, so I'll start doing my analysis. So like, I'll clear my drawings in NQ. So I did say I was leaning bullish. You said TGR is on a short. Interesting. But I did say I was leaning bullish when I first sat down. Like, on the daily, right? Like, although I was saying how we inverted this daily fair value gap, like I was saying how I could have expected this to mean nothing because of the economic news, right? Like with the Venezuela stuff, right? Like honestly, like it's bullish for Nasdaq. So even though we invert this daily gap, and in theory we should hit these lows down here, I feel like it means nothing, right? So I've been bullish. I feel like this high of Friday up here was just like an obvious draw. I feel like whenever you see any wicks that are like really prominent, they're just good targets. So this is Friday's high that I was looking at for a large portion of the day. So on the lower time frames, I mean, yeah, there is this 1 minute IFVG. I'm not the biggest fan of it, honestly. And there's even a 3 minute up here too. But said yeah, we dumped too much. But so at market open, there was a trade that I was considering taking. I actually even said I'm gonna take this, and then like it gave me the entry, and I just didn't take it. I mean, I don't know. I got like in hindsight, I guess overall I'm proud I didn't take the trade. But so essentially what the idea was, let me get rid of this. So at market open, like right before market open, we created this 5 minute gap. So one, in my opinion, I feel like 5 minute gaps created like before market open can low key be a little weaker, if that makes sense. Because I feel like the gaps created during market hours are just a little stronger, in my experience. But so we pulled into that, and then I was saying if we closed through this 5 minute gap, I was gonna flip bias to bearish. But the thing was, I feel like once I saw it react up pretty strongly, I was like, you know what? Like maybe I want to take this long. But the reason I did not take it, so I actually didn't even see this in real time. The first reason I should not take this is because there's actually equal lows at my stop loss. And me personally, I never put equal lows. I never put equal highs. I never put low resistance liquidity. I never put unfilled gaps. I never put data lows or data highs at my stop. Like anything that I believe is a strong draw is not going at my stop loss because I don't want my stop loss to be a strong draw, right? So like, that was one of the reasons I passed up on it. Another reason I passed up on this trade was I also didn't like the close. I feel like it kind of wicked up and then it wicked back down and it barely closed through this. Another reason I didn't like this trade was because I feel like previously to us forming this 1 minute gap, we were just chopping. Like we weren't opening up fair value gaps on any time frame. So I was thinking honestly, like I feel like this isn't like the best mindset to have, but it works for me. I always say, like, before I take a trade, I think in my head, if this trade loses and it hits my stop loss, am I going to be able to say, you know what? I tried my best. That was a good setup. Like, honestly, in this case, I was thinking if this trade lost, I'd be pissed at myself. Like, I wouldn't be proud of a setup I took that looks like this, honestly. Just because of, like, the combination of the chop. The other thing was, too, once this setup was presenting itself, I wanted to go break even at the most recent internal high or low, which is pretty far away on NQ, but I feel like ES was like only 2 points away from the break even point. So I really didn't want to take the like that trade. It ended up working out. Like I definitely could have hit. I could have hit my 1-to-1. I could have even targeted these highs up here for a 2-to-1, and it would have hit. But the thing is, though, at the end of the day, like I tried. My job as a trader is to only take high probability setups, and just because this trade won does not mean it's a good trade. And honestly, I'll stand by that. Like even though this won, it's not the best trade, honestly. But yeah, so I passed up on that. I think I was even debating on taking some other 30-second long, but that one I definitely passed up on. Where even was this 30-second long I considered? Oh, I want to say, yeah, it was, I considered this 30-second long right over here, where we closed through this gap. This one I was a little more confident in, saying I didn't want to take. I didn't like how it was, one, so close to market open, and two, the only gap I could really find, like the only time frame I could find a gap on. You said your inverse is about to happen. Yeah, honestly, even if we invert that 3-minute, I don't think I'm willing to take it anymore, honestly. Yeah, and yeah, honestly, I don't think I'm willing to take this anymore. But so for that 30-second though, yeah, so I guess what I was saying back then was me personally, I don't like 30 seconds that are that close to market open. And also, thank you for letting me know though, Jeremy, and Kane's Profit, is that your say name? I do appreciate the thought. But yeah, so essentially though, I just don't like taking 30 seconds very close to market open that aren't very clean. And even though this trade like looks like it went my way really well, like in hindsight, it would have edged my 1-to-1 and it never would have hit my 1-to-1. So it would have been a break-even trade regardless, because I would have went break-even once we took all these internal highs up here. But yeah, so then those were those two trades. Then coming in here, I pretty much like once we broke above these highs and just kept going higher, I was like, okay, it's very obvious that we're trending bullish, right? So I was looking for a continuation trade. So like pretty much my continuation model, I wait for a pullback into a 5 or a 15-minute fair value gap, and I wait for a lower time frame inverse coming out of there. So the main thing I was looking at was we opened up this 15-minute gap. So it's this 15-minute gap up here. So one thing I liked was we came close to Friday's high, but we never actually took it. So I mean, the thing was, ES already took Friday's high, so there was an S&T there, so it does make it lower probability by nature. But I still was willing to target that high of Friday. But the thing was, I feel like once we pulled back into this 15-minute gap, which honestly took forever, like you see I marked out this 15-minute gap, like we came really close to it once, we came close to it another time, we came close to it another time, and then we finally tapped into it. But the thing was, like I really couldn't find any clear rejection out of this gap, and then we just kind of kept dumping. And the thing is, I feel like so much time has elapsed that like it's getting close to lunch hour. I'm willing to call it for the day, to be honest. And like the last setup I was eyeing for the day was I was considering if, let's say, if we closed through this 3-minute gap, like at this point we've tapped into this other 15-minute gap down here. Then if we were to invert this 3-minute, I could take that, and then I could go break even at this unfilled 5-minute gap. Because the way I view like unfilled 5 and 15-minute fair value gaps, once we invert the highest time frame fair value gap separating us from that unfilled gap, it's pretty much a ridiculously obvious draw that we should go toward there, right? That's essentially like my mech model, my retracement model. It's like the mech model from PB trading. But that was pretty much it. I mean, like, so it's 11:10. Like, I'm not willing to take any more trades. I'm not like price action, it's okay. It wasn't as bad as yesterday, but at the same time, I wouldn't say it was necessarily the cleanest price action. But you said hope to see your strat video soon. Yeah, in case you guys didn't hear before, I actually am dropping my strat video where I basically have two models. I have my continuation model and my retracement model. So I explained both those in depth. They're going to be released in like, it's like 45 minutes. It's going to be what, noon Eastern Standard Time. Oh, I guess my music stopped. Well, it's too late to fix it now. But yeah, so I'll drop that video in like 45 minutes. So definitely watch that video if you guys are interested. Also, join my free Discord in that pinned comment. And also, if you guys are looking for a prop firm to trade with, my favorite prop firm is Alpha Futures. I do have my discount code, which is code TIMB272. It'll get you 10% off all valuations, or if they have some better discount going on, it'll get you that. But I guess I'll stay on here for a couple more minutes. If you guys have any questions, drop them down below. But yeah, I'll stay for a couple more minutes and let you guys drop some questions. But if not, I'm just gonna get off in a couple minutes. I like it. Dodgy passed up in that setup too. He said, "When you follow your rules by not longing with equal lows below and pretend everything's okay," and he says, "I'm raging inside." It's just so frustrating when it's like like with that trade I just took. It's like on paper I followed my rules, right? Like I made the best decision that would make sense over a long period of time. Like if I keep taking longs when there's equal lows below, chop above, like not clear price conditions, over time it's not going to make sense for me. It's just today that setup worked out. And I feel like that's one of the harder things about trading. But you said bet, yeah, I'm gonna study your strat. All right, got a fresh FX sesh ready. You said, so is it better to wait until you're profitable to get a plan with a firm or get it and trade along with you? Honestly, I would say like at first do a little bit of paper trading, do a little bit of demo trading. After that, I only say stand demo for like 2 months maybe. Like if you're impatient, maybe do one. But after you've been on demo for 2 months, I feel like the best way to get experience is just like actual experience. Because like I use this analogy all the time. Like if you read books about swimming, right? You've been reading books on swimming for 2 months, and then your friend picks you up and he throws you in a lake, but you've never swam a day in your life before. Like how good are those books gonna be for you? Like how much value is that book gonna offer you? It's like you study the concept, but you don't know the correct form to move your hands in, like when you're like swimming. And like I know it's like a ridiculous example, but you get the point here, right? Like there's certain lessons that can only be taken away from actual market experience. Like because when you start trading real money, like I'm not saying put huge amounts of money on the line. Like you can buy a prop firm account for $90 and you can trade that account for like 2 weeks at a time. So it's not like you're putting up crazy amounts of money, but you still have the potential to make a lot of money. And I feel like that'll give you like emotional practice. Because I feel like as a trader, like when you're doing fake trading, one thing it doesn't give you practice for is like when your mind starts telling you, like, oh, we lost money we worked hard to make. Like you got to make it back today. And you get tempted to overtrade. You get tempted to over leverage. You get tempted to take subpar setups because you want to finish the day green, right? Like your brain's gonna play all these tricks on you, but it's like you're not gonna understand that stuff until you actually start trading with your own hard-earned money. So I guess I hope that makes sense. You said thank you and appreciate your daily sharing. Yeah, of course. Yeah, but I guess probably I'm assuming no one has any questions, so I'm probably gonna start wrapping up here. But I do appreciate every single one of you guys stopping by. Sorry, it's kind of annoying we haven't gotten any trades 2 days in a row, but at the same time, I'm not gonna force like any setups with subpar conditions. So like my job as a trader is pretty much to wait until I get something where it's clear as day, and I kind of take that. You said exactly you'll learn faster with paying for accounts because you'll take it serious and using FX replay. Yeah, exactly. But I do appreciate all you guys stopping by. I will be live again at 9:30 every single day for the rest of the week until Friday. Like I'm always live at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday to Friday trading Nasdaq. But I hope you guys all have a good rest of your day and peace out.